The most important thing you do for your success is to take control of the suggestive elements in your environment. Be sure that what you are seeing and listening to is consistent with the goals that you want to achieve. Listen to educational audio programs in your car. The average person drives 12,000 to 25,000 miles per year, which works out to between 500 and 1,000 hours per year that the average person spends in his or her car. You can become an expert in your field by simply listening to educational audio programs as you drive from place to place. Attend seminars given by experts in your field, take additional courses, and learn everything you possibly can learn from the experts. Ask them questions, write them letters, read their books, read their articles, and listen to people with proven track records in the area in which you want to be successful. It can save you years of work and thousands of dollars. Have a vision for yourself and a vision for your life. The key to having a vision is to have a dream. They say in the song, you've got to have a dream if you want to make a dream come true. And you can fulfill your dreams. All the great movers and shakers of all of history have been dreamers. They've been people with dreams, they've been people with visions. All leaders have vision. In the book of Solomon, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And the metaphysical meaning of that is that where people lack vision, they perish inside because they lose the excitement and the thrill of life. And what most people do, because of negative experiences, because of fear of failure and so on, is if they have a vision at all, they tone it down so it's so small and so safe that it doesn't turn them on, it doesn't excite them, and they wonder why life isn't exciting. A beautiful line I read not long ago said, the best way to predict the future is to create it, which means to have a vision. And even though the vision is in the air or the sky, then build a foundation under your dreams. And when you see men and women who rise from poverty and obscurity to fame and renown, you invariably see someone who had a vision of what they could be and have and do that was far beyond what they were. Every one of us has had an experience at one time when we were small. We had a vision of growing up and having our own cars. And as we grew older, we had a vision of having our own homes and our own families. As we grew older, we had a vision of traveling and going to Europe. We fulfill all our visions. The wonderful thing is that we always tend to achieve our goals. The problem is that our goals are set so low that even when we do achieve them, they don't turn us on, they don't fill us with enthusiasm. So dream big dreams if you like and focus on results, not activities. This is the key. Be clear about the results that you're trying to accomplish. This is one of the keys of peak performance, by the way. All peak performers are result-oriented. All losers, underachievers, tend to be activity-oriented. And in activity orientation, what they do is they work very, very hard. Sometimes they work frantically. Sometimes they work longer hours than you do, but they lose sight of the results. Ben Trigo, the strategic thinker, said the very worst thing in the world is to do very efficiently what need not be done at all. And many of us work very, very hard to do very efficiently what need not be done at all. Anybody who's ever had employees will tell you that every single day you come across your employees doing something very diligently, but it's completely irrelevant to the success of the business. So focus on results. Here's a key question to ask yourself when in your working life. I think it's one of the most important key questions. I'll give you two. Number one is, what results are expected of me? Not what activities, but what results or what outputs.
What I supposed to produce in my job?
A second question you can ask yourself is, why am I on the payroll? Why am I on the payroll? So I'm going to give you a simple word that you can use for the rest of your career, which will double your income. And the word is how. From now on, whenever you have a goal, the only question you ask is how. Whenever you have a problem to solve, the only question you ask is how. If you have an obstacle to overcome, the only question you ask is how. Now, the wonderful thing about the word how is that it triggers ideas. And the ideas are all for actions that you can take immediately. And when you take those ideas, you start to get feedback, which enables you to correct your course and take even better steps to achieve your goals. So the average person, when they have a problem, complains and blames other people about the problem. Top people, when they have a problem or goal, they simply say, how could I achieve this goal? And they try this and they try that and they try something else. But it never occurs to them that they will not eventually be successful. So they think about what they want and how to get it most of the time. The key to success is, first of all, understanding. And understanding is you. As understanding is understanding yourself and understanding your world. And that takes some time. It takes some study. And the second is effort. You have to work. You have to be willing to make the efforts necessary. When I began to study Spansky and Gorchev many years ago, they called it the work. And there's always work that you have to do. If you want to become physically fit, if you want to lose weight, there's a lot of work that you have to do. Unfortunately, most people, the bottom 80% of people, are lazy. Actually, there are 3 types of lazy. They're lazy, very lazy, and bone lazy. And one of the greatest problems we have in our society today is lazy people who want the rewards that hardworking people get. They call the lazy people the average person. They call the successful people the millionaires and billionaires without realizing that all of those people started with nothing. Many of them were poor. Many of them were poor. Many of them were immigrants. And it took them 20 to 30 years to become financially successful. There was a politician who ran for the presidency some years ago, and he said, those who have been lucky at the gaming tables of life should be forced to share their winnings with those who have not been as fortunate. That's the mindset. In other words, if you're successful, it's just luck, So therefore, you don't really deserve it. So it should be taken from you and given to others. The fact is that it takes tremendous effort for you and I to achieve any kind of success. But the fact is that there are no obstacles standing between you and any goal that you can set for yourself. You just have to learn how to do it. Every single person who is successful today was once a failure. Everyone in the top 10% started in the bottom 10%. And they set very clear goals and they learned specific things and they did things differently from the average person. And their life took off like that Mercedes. Benz touching on the gas pedal. Their lives changed. So sometimes the absence of one piece of knowledge can hold you back for years. And I say, never allow yourself to be held back because of the absence of a piece of knowledge or skill. All business skills are learnable. All money-making skills are learnable. All success skills are learnable. Everybody who knows them now at one time did not know them at all. And so you can learn anything you need to learn. Here's what we have found with regard to business. All business skills are learnable. You can learn any business skill that can help you to increase your earning ability. If you're in sales, you can learn any sales skill. If you want to earn money or make money, you can learn any money-making skill. All business skills are learnable skills. Now, you may not be able to play a violin like a great violinist or be a great athlete or a great artist because those are special skills. But in terms of business, you can learn any business skill because every person who has a business skill today at one time did not have that skill. And then they said that skill would help me. So they studied and practiced, and they took courses and they became good in that skill. I had a very poor education, so I thought other people were smarter than me. And if other people are smarter than you, it means that you are dumber than they are. And then I thought, well, if they're smarter than me, then they are worth more than I am. But if other people are worth more, then you must be worth less. Now, the feeling of being worthless is the biggest single problem in the world today. The feeling of being not very valuable and not very important, which leads to low self-esteem, negativity, anger, and depression. It leads to giving up, not even trying. It's the biggest problem in the world today. And high self-esteem, confidence in yourself is the greatest blessing. But here's what I found. Nobody is smarter than you. Nobody's better than you. Some people have different talents and abilities, but talents and abilities are spread quite evenly. So you have more talent and ability than you could use in 100 lifetimes. The essence of all human wisdom is self-knowledge and self-understanding, is to understand who you are and why you think and feel the way you do. Because that foundation is called interpersonal intelligence. It's been identified at Harvard as one of the foundation intelligences of great success in life. Really understanding yourself, understanding your strengths and weaknesses. You'll find that superior people are very honest about themselves. They know that they're not good at certain things, and they're not defensive, and they're not defensive, and they're better at other things, and they're quite proud of it. If you look at all spiritual doctrines, all religion, all meditation, all philosophy, all great thought, and all of history, it is to bring people to the point of thinking where they enjoy complete peace of mind. The rule is that if you set peace of mind as your highest goal, you'll probably never make another mistake. If you set peace of mind as your highest goal, everything else will fall into place. And if you achieve everything else in the world, but you do not achieve your own peace of mind, you will consider yourself a failure. You'll be unhappy, you'll be frustrated, you'll be irritated, you'll be angry, and so on. So peace of mind is the critical thing. And so you have to keep asking yourself, what are the things that occur that give me peace of mind? When do I enjoy the highest level of peace of mind? And when you start, when you have no fear and no negative emotions, your mind is like a vacuum. What flows in is complete peace. When you have solved all your problems, but everything is fine, you just feel completely at peace. And those are what are called the peak experiences of your life. Those are when you are the happiest of all. And this is not something that occurs accidentally. You walk along and you trip over some peace of mind and pick it up and put it in your pocket. You have to deliberately design your life so that you feel a great sense of peace. And of course, an extension of that is happiness. Aristotle said the ultimate aim of all human behavior is to be happy, just to achieve your own happiness. When Ayn Rand, a renowned materialist, said many years ago, she said the ultimate measure of how well you're doing as a human being is how genuinely happy you are. And if you can accomplish everything else in the world, but you're not a happy person and you don't enjoy inner peace, well then, to that degree, you fail. You read these stories of people who are extremely successful, make an enormous amount of money, they snort coke. They drink themselves into oblivion. They go on tours around the country like Charlie Sheen, and then some of them go home and shoot themselves. And they've got all this money and all this fame and all this glory, but they have no sense of inner peace. So we have this little diagram here, internal versus external locus of control. This is what psychologists use. They say you have an internal locus of control here where you are happy, and then you have a scale, and you have an external locus of control. The internal locus of control is where you feel that you're in charge of your own life. You make your own decisions. Americans in general, by the way, have a much higher sense of inner control than most countries in the world. Europeans, 58% of Germans, for example, in highly structured economies, believe that they have little or no control over their future. A person with an internal locus of control says, I make my own decisions. I am. Where I am, and what I am, and what I am, and what I am because of myself. I'm in charge of my life. A person with an external locus of control feels that other people are in charge of their life, their boss, their bills, and so on. Now you are here and you are moving in one direction or another with every decision that you make. The good news is that when you develop an internal locus of control, you feel really happy and strong, and you're much more positive and creative. And that's the goal that we're aiming for. The people with a high internal locus of control feel really good about themselves. They feel powerful, they feel empowered, they feel strong. Here's an interesting point. You can never give away control except to other people. You can give away your control to other people, but you still remain responsible. So control begins with your thoughts, and your thoughts determine your feelings, and your feelings then determine your actions. For the goals and ideals give you a sense of meaning and purpose. They make you wake up in the morning and you're excited. You can hardly get going. There are a lot of people who love to sleep because they've got no reason to get up. People who are doing something and achieving something that's important, they look upon sleep as an irritation. It's something you have to do so that you're fully refreshed. But you do it as quickly as possible so you can get back to doing the stuff that makes you happy, gives you peace of mind, fills your financial coffers, and so on. There are several core areas that you must continually evaluate and assess. Number one is, what are your core competencies? What are you good at? Each individual or business starts off with a set of core skills or competencies that enable them to produce a product or service that the market wants, needs, and is willing to pay for. Each employee starts off with core competencies that enable them to make a contribution. Each company starts off with core competencies that enable them to survive and thrive in a competitive business market. The first question you must ask is, what is your company especially good at? What does your company do in an exceptional fashion? What are the special talents and skills and abilities of the people in your company that enable you to produce your products or services in a superior fashion? And remember, whatever got you to where you are today is not enough to get you any further. If you're not continually upgrading your knowledge and skills in your core areas, you're actually falling behind. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Now, here's another question with regard to core capabilities. What are you personally very good at doing? Look upon yourself as a bundle of resources that could do a variety of things. What are your special, unique, individual talents and skills that enable you to do an excellent job and achieve a worthwhile result? Again, you must be continually adding to your skill base and upgrading your existing skills just to stay even in the current market. What additional competencies will you need as a business and as an individual in the future? What are the trends in your industry? What is it that customers will be wanting 1 year from today, and what competencies will you have to develop in order to serve your customers at the highest possible level 1 year from today?